So occasionally I'll be perusing eBay. I think that's the word, perusing. Scrolling through eBay, doom scrolling, as my generation might call it, through eBay at like 1 or 2 in the morning or something. Usually while my girlfriend's asleep because she just can just fall asleep, and I have to find something to do until I actually am tired to fall asleep. So I will just scroll through eBay looking for old pocket knives a lot of the time, or looking at Great Eastern cutleries and stuff like that. You guys know the Great Eastern cutleries, the Winchesters, the Remingtons, all that stuff that I like, and all these old knives too. So I found this on eBay. I don't remember exactly what I paid, but it was less than $20. And this is an Ulster Camp knife, and it's got Jig Delrin covers, and the blade on it looked pretty good. So I went ahead and got it. Right there, you can see Ulster USA on the tang stamp there. This knife has been carried quite a bit. I don't think it's ever. I don't think it's been used a whole lot, but it's got a whole bunch of patina on it from sitting in somebody's pocket for a long time, I believe. Of course, this being a camp knife, it has a. Ouch! I just pinched myself real good. It has a bottle opener, a can opener, a blade. Of course, I showed that. Big old spear blade. Am I bleeding? Not yet. Okay, that's cool. And it's got a awl or a punch, depending on what you want to call it. For whatever reason, on a lot of these old like camp knives, the blade and the awl want to occupy like the same space. I did try to bend the awl a little bit because I was hoping that that would help. But when I first took this out of the package and I went to close it, it stopped on the awl because the awl was trying to occupy the same place as the blade. And you can probably hear it. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that's the awl hitting the side of the blade. So I don't know what it is with these old camp knives and the punch or awl and the blade trying to occupy the same area, but I've had this on a couple different old camp knives before. Um, and I like having a punch on a knife and everything, but I don't really want it putting nicks in my cutting blade. But anyway, this one still has the bail on it. Some of these old camp knives, people will have removed the bail. I did just see one in an antique mall where somebody removed the bail and then put their own pin through it. That was kind of cool. I didn't pick it up because it was a little pricey, and whatever the covers were made out of had like shrunk massively. Otherwise, I probably would have picked it up. But I believe this is pretty much all steel construction except for these brass liners here, and of course the Delrin or plastic or whatever, and it's got brass pins too. But the bolsters appear to be steel. A couple spacers in here, I believe, are steel and everything. Um, but yeah, good looking blade. It does have a little bit of blade play. Not a super noticeable amount. Not really a big deal. I may try to fix it anyway because I'm insane, but it's not really a serious amount of blade play. Nothing that would affect the use of the knife. I'm just a crazy person. It does need to be oiled up. I feel like the action would be much better on it if it had some mineral oil in it. In fact, let me just go ahead and grab my little bottle here while I'm talking and try to drop a couple drops of mineral oil in it because I really feel like that would help the action of this knife. So let me just do this right here. Let's drop some much needed lubrication into these pivot points. Okay, put that dropper thing back here. Once again, I got this little dropper bottle from a mineral oil at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, I believe they are now. I just got mineral oil all over my nice table. Oh well, but we'll see. Usually, just putting some mineral oil in one of these old knives will really help it out. It's a good tip for buying these old pocket knives. A lot of them, the action will be really bad, and even just a little bit of mineral oil in them will really help improve that. Okay, can opener's still not snapping closed. Maybe it's not supposed to. I don't know. I never had a camp knife that I carried regularly or anything. I was never in the Boy Scouts or anything, so the only like camp knife that I've ever really gotten into. Is this hitting the blade when I close it? Feels like something's getting hung up. I don't know. Might just be gunk. Um, but yeah, usually just some mineral oil in it. And just work the blades open and closed. Will really help free up the action on an old knife, or even a lot of new knives can use this as well, because a lot of them will still have some of the gunk in them from manufacturing and everything. But you open close the blade a few times, the blades in this case a few times, and you'll end up with a much smoother knife. And you can see there's gunk, all sorts of rust and stuff, red rust coming out of it here. You can see that. The inside of this knife is fairly gross. Let me show that off while I'm thinking about it. Try not to cut myself here. Oop, other side. This screwdriver bottle opener is awkward to open. Let me see. Let me get my flashlight and see if I can show this off a little bit. So you can see it's real dirty and gross in there. It's pretty rusty. Now I could get some steel wool or something and clean that out a little bit. Will I bother? I don't know. We'll see. This is a pretty nice old camp knife, though, so I probably will try to clean it up. I'm not going to try to do it on video because that doesn't go well, as I found out. But, I might try to clean it up a little bit because this is a nice little camp knife. And I feel like, having an example of a older style camp knife is always nice. But I basically picked this up for the Tang stamp, the Ulster stamp, and just having another nice old camp knife. And this one, I think, is probably the nicest like old camp knife that I have. Of course, if you refer to a Victorinox as a camp knife, my Victorinox Pioneer is better than this, but that's not old. I bought that in like 2018 or 2019, so that's not old. This is old and it's cool because it's an Ulster. It's made in the United States, and it's very reminiscent of like a Boy Scout knife. In fact, I'm not sure what that crest means, or the shield, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what that means. That could even be some sort of Boy Scout symbol. I don't know. I was never in the Boy Scouts or anything. So let me know about that. Um, cool little camp knife from Ulster here. I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it, so I'm really happy with it for what I paid for it and what I got. Um, you can find a lot of these cooler old knives a lot easier than some of the higher end modern knives. Obviously, like Great Eastern Cutlery are really expensive, hard to get and everything. Whereas people that I don't want to say people that are into collecting Great Eastern Cutlery, because a lot of people that are actually into Great Eastern Cutlery also like these old knives. But a lot of the people that buy Great Eastern Cutlery aren't actually into traditional pocket knives. I feel like I might be wrong about that, but I feel like a lot of people that buy Great Eastern Cutlery pocket knives are just buying them because they're either trying out some sort of traditional thing, or they want to resell them, or they just have heard how Great Eastern Cutlery is. But some of the people that are really into, not really into, some of the people that buy a lot of Great Eastern Cutlery knives don't seem to want these old American-made knives, which is fine with me because I will enjoy the low prices of these nice American-made knives from back in the day, before I was born. So, um, cool Ulster Camp knife. That's going to be it for this video. Before I get too babbly, too rambly, or whatever. It's going to be it. So I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good day.